AGH Politics Avenue. Podcasters are training because making headlines. Ne Jimre and ADB Exomo Ewa, Nidium Yahoo Braxiamo, say and AD Kanya. Mr. So much subscribe to the channel, hit notification bell, and also share. Now, fear for friends or answer into me. Can be a Nidium Yahoo Braxiamo, Unia Young Queen Simo. Now, ye Queen Sima on a year minority lead caucus. At me as TG a year press conference. Na Nina and say Tony General and na omu ama eye papano ehu ashishena enya asem go to Accra. Na watimi aslemi aye Attorney General over public comment efa eye ongoing prosecutions ehu no. Onia mesre say imu ransi minim. Na ehwe ne yekọ ene de eba. Aha AGH Politics Avenue.
Well, the minority in Parliament is lashing out at the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, over his recent public pronouncement on ongoing state prosecutions. The AG's press briefings have sparked concerns, with a lawyer to the minority describing his press briefings as unconstitutional, biased, and nothing more than cheap political expedience. Now, speaking at a press conference in Parliament today, the minority's legal counsel and MP for Swame John Darko said the Attorney General's public remarks about ongoing prosecutions amount to pronouncing subject or suspect guilty before fair trial.
The AG says he is into this media circus because he doesn't want to be referred to as an incompetent Attorney General because he wasn't an incompetent lawyer. Please, Mr. Attorney General, competent AGs don't prosecute their cases in the court of public opinion. Competent AGs prosecute their cases in the court where evidence are subject to street proof. In criminal trials, he has a responsibility to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt. This is where you go. Put the evidence before the court. Let the lawyers of the other parties scrutinize the evidence. If it stands the test of time and the court pronounces them guilty, so be it. Why do we bring the evidence to the media for just this media circus to destroy the image of people even before they get a chance to open their defenses? As a people, we must rise up against this challenge.
Well, this is not the first time the minority is calling out the AG, but less than 24 hours ago when the minority leader Alexander Fayemakin appeared on PM Express last night, he did not call out only the Attorney General, but the court as well, over actions he says are undermining the judiciary.
Since they assumed office, apart from the PR, when they are hot, they only come and then announce a so-called corruption, they are investigating someone. That's their playbook now. Anytime government is under pressure, Attorney General would do a press conference.
Do you think that's
Attorney General's place is in the court. My respected friend, the MP, who is an Attorney General, and his deputy, I want them to know that their place is in the court.
But they also owe us a duty to update us, to be transparent.
Oh, please.
In what you're doing.
Please. When they are updating you, and undermining the authority of the court and disrespecting the rights of people, pronouncing guilty even before going to court. Perhaps they are waiting for Bafuboni to become a Chief Justice so that they control the court, which I'm finding, I wonder how they are going to achieve.
You're suggesting that if Bafuboni becomes the CJ, do
well, they've said so. They've said so. At least we hear them saying it, that they want their CJ and then they can have their preferred judges. That's what they are saying. But we wait to see. We wait to see. That is why they prefer to be in the media, to talk about people's guilt. But it is not in their place to pronounce guilt. The rule of law requires that go to court, make a case.
Well, on the controversial matter of the dismissal of Gertrude Tokonu and the appointment of Justice Paul Bafuboni as the acting Chief Justice, the minority leader says, contrary to assertions that they will absent the vetting of the CJ nominee, this is what they will do.
Will you vet Bafuboni?
Oh, all our casts are on the table. We'll get there.
Including not vetting him and boycotting the vetting. Because you are the ranking on that. You are the vice chair.
Boycotting is out. Boycotting is out.
So categorically, you will not boycott.
We will not boycott it. Anybody who is expecting us to boycott, I say here and now, we will never boycott it.
So what will you do instead?
We will do what is right. He himself must know that there is a Chief Justice. He himself must know.
And who is the Chief Justice?
He knows who is the Chief Justice.
No, I'm asking you. You suggested
he knows who the Chief Justice is.
They only act. There's an acting Chief Justice.
So he knows that he's acting.
Yes.
He knows he's acting, and he knows that there's a substantive Chief Justice.
And who is that?
The lady has a case before you. You know that you are to empanel. If you want to rule, empanel the court, determine the matter, and then bring a finality. Then we can talk.
You're saying that Getu Tokono is still the substantive CJ?
Well, it is to be known by him that it is the case. The woman has a case before you challenging the processes. You've refused to empanel the court.
But the warrant of the president is final.
The president has discharged his constitutional duty.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the president. I'm talking about the processes. CJ. Listen to me. I'm talking about the processes and her rights as a citizen of Ghana and a public office holder.
Well, let's explore this further. Let me bring in John Darko. He is Minority Legal Counsel, as well as Member of Parliament for Swami. We appreciate your time here on Joe News Prime. Now, you're raising concerns about the conduct of the Attorney General. What do you plan to do moving forward, especially because you say that he is, going ahead to declare individuals guilty even before the court has done the same? What's your next line of action?
Well, thank you very much. But isn't it a fact that he's declaring people guilty before they get a chance to put their defense across? That's what he's doing. So it's not as if we are the ones saying it. It's a fact that the Attorney General has gone out there calling people thieves, calling people criminal looters. He's calling people as members of a criminal syndicate. This is what the Attorney General is doing. He has made all of you, including people at home. Now everybody believes that the persons he's mentioned are all guilty. And that is not what an Attorney General is supposed to do.
But
in fact,
in
his responsibility,
defense, really,
first of all,
in the Attorney General's
is to defend the people of Ghana.
Mr. John Darko, in the Attorney General's defense, he says he's simply updating the public on the different cases on his table, especially because of the concerns that Oral seems to have gone to sleep. Mr. John Darko, can you hear me? Well, we're just reconnecting the lines to Member of Parliament for Swami. He's just joined us here on Joe News Prime. If you just tuned in, the minority is raising concerns about the conduct of the Attorney General. They are of the opinion that he is, just declaring individuals guilty before the court declares them guilty. They have concerns that this has the potential to damage the reputation of individuals who he mentions in the different news conference he has had since he assumed office. I have clear connection now to John Darko. I was just telling you that the Attorney General in his defense says that he's simply updating the public on the different cases before him, and that is aiding transparency, is it not?
Not at all. What the Attorney General is doing goes far beyond updating the people of Ghana on the cases he's engaging in. He is going beyond that. He could have simply told the people of Ghana that we have A, B, C, D cases in court, and these are the stages we have reached. We are yet to file charges in the case of A. In the case of B, we are doing, let's say, CMC. In the case of D, we have finished our case. In the case of E, the accused is supposed to open his defense. In the case of F, we are waiting for the judge to give us the judgment. That will be fine. But when he goes ahead and puts his facts, everything he has collected, and put it out there as facts, okay, then that is problematic because you haven't given the other party the opportunity to counter the facts you have brought out. And every lawyer listening to me, and all of you will know, that when somebody presents his case before you, until you hear the other side, it is never complete. In fact, it's a violation of the most sacred principle of our Constitution, okay, to hear one side of the case without the other. Natural justice principle is so crucial that if you breach natural justice principle, your case, no matter how strong it is, will be thrown out.
Mr. John Darko, if the minority fails, Mr. Darko,
destroying the people's reputation.
Mr. Darko, if you allow me,
without opportunity for them to redeem their image.
I presume you can hear me, Mr. Darko, if you allow me. If the minority feels that the Attorney General is breaching the Constitution, what then is your next line of action?
I think you asked me earlier, and I said that the minority as a caucus will advise itself if this continues. And the advice, of course, will include even going to court to restrain him. Because you see, our judges have always insisted the lawyers of cases should not come out to, as it were, bring the case into the media. But what is happening here is that the Attorney General, who is the head of the bar, is now breaching the ethics and standards that the courts have set. The courts have set that standard. They've set the ethics that lawyers in cases are not allowed to sit on the media and be discussing the cases. Yet the Attorney General, who is the head of the bar, feels that he's above the law. He feels that the ethics standards that we have set for ourselves is useless. He's thrown them into the gutter, and that he can go out and discuss people's guilt and actually declaring the number of years they can serve in court if convicted. Who does that? No Attorney General, what we saw, will be doing that. Leave that decision to the court. Otherwise, what you are telling us is that you have the court under your armpit and you can control them. You can ensure that they are convicted and you can ensure that they are sentenced to a particular number of years. What does the Attorney General have in declaring the number of years somebody will serve in prison? It's not right. It's never done.
Thank you so much.
The Attorney General knows. All they are doing is to create the satisfaction for the former government and the former government officials.
Okay.
And that is wrong. That is not how you run our politics.
Thank you so much, Mr. Darko.
Well, away from that, the municipal chief executive for Ayawaso West, Dr. Michael Mensah, has vowed to get to the bottom of the Roman Ridge building collapse this afternoon here in Accra. Speaking on the incident, Dr. Mensah announced that the assembly will set up a committee to investigate the circumstances surrounding the collapse of the story building under construction. My colleague Fatal Baiga has more in the following report.
The building, located between a 10-story apartment complex and the Ghana Institute of Engineering, collapsed while still under construction. Reports indicated that people were trapped under the debris. However, the municipal chief executive, Michael Mensah, stated that his checks proved otherwise. He mentioned that the assembly will constitute a committee to investigate the situation.
There was a failure when it comes to the supports. They have just poured concrete, and the supports failed them. That is why the building or the structure collapsed.
So what are you going to do as the MC?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to constitute a committee to investigate this. So between today and tomorrow, a committee will be put together to do investigation, and then based on the outcome, we will give some recommendation.
But are you going to summon the contractor?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to call the contractor today and tomorrow. So once we leave here, we'll try and then get the contractor to the office and then find out what has actually happened. And the contractor will also be part of the investigation that will be conducted.
According to checks by officials from the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations, there were clear breaches of safety protocols at the construction site. Engineer Thomas Kojobuachi serves as the head of operations for the Special Task Force on Inspections and Compliance at the Ministry.
The fundamental thing that I saw in there is that they undermine safety. Because right there and then, in as much as they claim that since the collapse, people are not working in there. But then we heard various sounds knocking inside there, which means that people are really working. That is what I can ascertain. And then more to the point, we've seen people who are working there without PPEs. And then the working environment is just a mess. Why should that be so? Before you even proceed on these works, what you need to do is that you have to break their work into structures, into phases. Which risk analysis have you performed on each of the phases? And what plan do you put in place to ensure that should this occur or this shouldn't even occur? You understand? Ideally, that should have been the way to go, other than this whole thing just happen.
The assembly member for the area, Adam Yusuf, expressed that this incident has put fear on the residents of the area.
For now, I mean, the whole area, we are having a lot of high-rising properties, and then it's raised a concern for such things to happen, and then now the residents are going to really be worried about their safety. So this is what I am also much concerned about. I'm concerned about the safety of my community people, and then the people who plied our streets in
payment, operations, and administrative functions. We are beginning to see the impact. Rapid claim payment. As of today, the total amount of funds disbursed by NHIA for this year, 2025, to healthcare providers is 2.8 billion cedis. This timely injection of funds is increasing provider confidence, encouraging compliance, and driving enrollment growth.
For Health Minister Kobna Minta-Akando, the National Health Insurance Scheme remains sustainable and resilient despite a reduction in foreign aid, attributing this to improved domestic resource mobilization.
Domestic resource mobilization, which we must not take for granted. And that is why we are not experiencing issues like, because there is a cut of aid, we are not able to pay claims. Because it's a shrinking aid, we are not able to pay claims. When you have a strong domestic mobilization of resources, there are no strings attached, and you are able to invest the resources where it is needed most.
Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Dr. Victor Asari Bompo, described the initiative as unprecedented, noting that it has enabled the authority to pay service providers every month, a significant improvement from the previous system of settling month of arrears.
Amazing. We have 3.4 billion cedis more. As you heard in some of the delivery, it's been unprecedented that the National Health Insurance Authority would be making payments on a monthly basis. And up to date, we've paid most providers up to the month of August and even some up to September. It's never happened before that we'll be paying on a monthly basis. I remember in my previous foray into government and after, payments were actually 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. This is revolutionary, that every month service providers receive payments. And I think you heard the Director General of the Ghana Health Service also talk about the fact that now there is a switch. At first there used to be complaints about non-payment and withdrawal of services because NHIA has not paid. Now he tells us, these are his own words, he tells us that he has to actually encourage the facilities under his direct control to put in their claims because NHIA is paying.
The two-day conference brought together stakeholders from across the country and various sectors to discuss ways to improve the scheme. For Joy News, Fatao Bayaga, Accra.
Well, to some other stories, the delay in approving the Iwoya Lithium project has left 7 Infantaman communities in uncertainty. Farmlands abandoned, livelihoods on hold. For 2 years, the residents have been unable to use their own lands due to a government moratorium, while compensation and resettlement are yet to begin. Ǎttǎcǩ Lithium says it can start payment and resettlement within 3 months once Parliament gives approval. Emmanuel Givano has more.
The Iwoya Lithium project, heralded as Ghana's first major lithium mining venture, has become a source of frustration for 7 communities, including Iwoya, Abonko, Krampakrom, and Anochi.
Abansa katamu unintso me edmanedre tam ajin because the oba no ka wa ma stop work nti ye edwuma na asisi a oba mo ebosu ye edwuma biala won susu ni biem ndo ajin.
At the Odambia Festival, the paramount chief of Nkusukum, Ojiman Okesi Isando IX, spoke passionately about the mounting hardship, urging Parliament to rectify the project before the end of 2025.
Sisiara Bodunde ratification on by no ama amanfa wowo Iwoya Abonko, Anochi, Nkusukuma Amanse, Nankasedo, Akuffo and Okokodo, Warahaha. Na Masha Mati Yamana no, Yaratete, Papa, Eja, Odubribi, and Yana Amanfwe, or what's with Tia, now what demonstrate, now what Tia campaign no.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Infantiman, Dr. Ebenezer Prince Ahim pledged to lead efforts in securing ratification and called on Atlantic Lithium to prioritize employment for Infantiman residents.
It's Ǎttǎcǩ Lithium. Wabra yabua NDC maya rectify amahoni. Wafum babuna wochu excavators are Infantiman yo mabuni biwa. Ya pia wana wakwa tuwasi wo lithium wa Infantiman yo biwa.
On his part, the Central Regional Minister, Ekopenyi Ochri Eduama, said the region is ready to host the project, but stressed the need for measures to prevent illegal mining once operation starts.
We want to ensure that even before they start, Nanano must have their ground rules well grounded, so that it will not appear as if very soon somebody else will also come and say that, look, I'm also going to mine, and that if I'm unable to do, I'm unable to go to the mainstream, I'm going to do galamsey with lithium. That would not help us.
Parliament's approval remains the critical next step, with local leaders insisting the swift action could transform the lives of thousands and bring long-awaited jobs, stability, and development to Infantiman and Nkusukum communities. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Central Region.
Away from the Central Region,
we and some who team course or channel so Mamma so Jimre or had a sentence or Wadiano, at the Dumbi Edomania, Unia, Oba Realm, Ninga Sumo Kwansong Sukra, a GH Politics Avenue.